The very final best of 3 here at the Blast Global Finals. A beautiful place here in Bahrain. It's been a fantastic weekend of Counter-Strike, but this is not just the last best of 3 of our event. It's the last time we will see Astralis versus Liquid in 2019. It's the series that keeps on giving, and it hasn't been too favorable for Liquid as of late, Launders, but one final chance is what they've got here.
We've got the same veto that we saw earlier in the tournament. We've got the same veto we've seen from them multiple times across tournaments. And every single time, they've had the same problem. How do we win nuke? How do we win overpass? Lately, it's been nuke over and over again. But we have also seen Liquid play nuke now more versus other teams. One struggle for Liquid is that on nuke, they've never had good enough practice. All the teams they play against, they beat. When they come into these tournaments versus Astralis versus other great European teams, they struggle. But now they've got practice on LAN after their boot camp. But first, we have Inferno, a map that is a little bit more even, a map that Liquid win more often, and we've got a map that most teams understand the best.
Both of these teams most certainly do. It's where Liquid brought the series in their opening match on the very first day, and it didn't help them then. But it's where we begin, and we begin slowly. Team Liquid creeping their way through the apartments. Astralis already with numbers in this direction. Glaive starting to cheek his way over through Arch as well. The utility support going to be thrown over. And we're looking for headshots. We're looking for what has been 2 of the very best teams this year to give us one hell of a yearly finale. Grenades up and over, flashbang successful, but we've got Device tucked away, and Dupree from Grave tries to pop his head up. Naf's just gonna prioritize plant, and that bomb's gone down with so many CTs nearby that they just start cleaning up kills. Elysian Twist, all that's left. And they start to bounce back with at least 1. But Twist, who's been criticized, this dropped. Astralis start with pistol.
Wow, they laid a trap on A with 4 players on A, and none of them showed face. They allowed Liquid to get in, the bomb went down, which was really surprising, but it's almost as if Astralis wanted that because they secured the perimeter of the site. They have graveyard control, 2 players in pit, they were ready to pounce, and there was no way for Liquid to get the best post-plant spots, which were those spots on the outside of the site. So really nice setup there from Astralis, and out the gate for A before anything started. Xyp9x was the only one spotting down Banana. Lucky to get a plant, though. More than ever, a plant on this first round is more valuable than anything else.
Certainly so. That bomb plant transitions itself into what we've seen time and time again with the affordable rifles and the power of the Krieg. Stewie, 2K, and Elige will be equipped in this round. Deagles surround them, and a deep grenade with some slight chip damage.
They lacked a couple of kills, so they couldn't get all of the grenades that they wanted to. Only 2 rifles. Sometimes you see 3 in a situation like this. But again, it was fairly lopsided. Double arch setup here for Astralis. Shoulder peeks out, no damage dealt by Stewie. He's got one of the better guns here for Liquid. Molotov out. That'll do some damage to Dupree and give them a bit of a tell. He won't have to move out of this spot, however. Maj is still in a strong position, locking down halls and lane.
Working their way back towards Banana already. Glaive has foregone what was once his forward position, but he gets an inkling as to what's up, so he goes diving into Banana. And just as quickly as he rounds the corner, he is turned away. Xyp9x puts down the smoke, buys time for a rotation. That's Device to move over through CT spawn, but Team Liquid bide their time.
It's crazy, it already feels like Astralis or someone on the back foot, which is insane because they won that first round, but the confidence here from Liquid with the guns that they have recovered. It is apparent, it's salient.
Slight shoulder peek. Device, he's gonna grab himself too. Twists perhaps now at bat. Oh! Dropping Stewie close, that's all 3 of the rifles. Or weapons rather, that even picked up and added to the mix, but nothing comes off of it. Twists has to double back towards A, and now he's stranded between these sites. You just said it felt like Astralis was playing from the back foot, but Device sure as hell changed that quick.
Yeah, an incredible hold. Really well done. And yeah, even that last kill, spam through the coffins. And that leaves us with Astralis 2-0. Twist couldn't recover the gun. They couldn't get the rest of the entries on B, even though they did get the opening kill. A good recovery here for Astralis. And the fans are here in full force for both teams.
Yeah.
We've got Liquid on one side, Astralis on one side, and they're making sure to cheer no matter what round it is. That's what we like to see.
Right, actually. You know what, Bahrain? Let's get a feel for where you guys are at. Let me hear you if you're cheering for Astralis. Oh, and what about if you're cheering for Liquid?
Okay, yeah, no, Liquid, I think we might have this. I think we might have this. This is going to be a real war in the server and out.
Yeah, I want to get a sense of where this crowd's at before we start getting deep in the series. We are still such early days. And what's supposed to be a throwaway round. Already 2 casualties stacking up here towards mid. They are walking into the meat grinder that is THEIVES. He is everywhere, omnipresent already on Inferno. Rotates through CT spawn. This time he's over on short, and regardless of where he's at, he locks the rounds down. Liquid find nothing.
In Liquid Astralis matchups, there's a high chance of a 2-0 because Astralis are favored on all maps, if slightly, if not heavily, like map 2. On Inferno, they still can win. You know, they still have a positive win rate versus Liquid. Earlier in this tournament, they beat them on Inferno, and it was a very worrying defeat. They actually crushed them before they could even get a lot of bomb plants on A at the top mid early in the round. So that's going to be the first beast, I think, for Liquid to try to take down. That was, of course, a pistol round, so not too much to try to grab from there. But, oh, Stewie, between 2 fires, ends up getting killed by Xyp9x. Doesn't even see an opponent. As you can see from Astralis, still full HP on everybody.
I mean, his health drops so quickly. There must have been a grenade that destroyed Stewie, too, because there's no way that was just a molly. Elige then, right after, gets a good taste of fragmentation. Majeskin from Porch, double kill for him. And a response from Nitro, but at 5 HP, he's chased by THEIVES yet again. And Elige, who hasn't even seen anybody to shoot back at, yet finds himself on 43 health, has to play it all alone.
Yeah.
If only he had a bomb, Mohan.
No, he doesn't even have a place to hide, is the other problem. He's trying to fight his way out of a box right now. There's one player here waiting for him. Blade takes the perfect time to peek. Maniac brought up that one of the things about Astralis, like for Elige, he's an all-time top form. He has been playing extremely well. He multi-frags versus it basically every single team they play against. But versus Astralis, his rating is just above average, not excellent. Whereas NAVI is the one who has improved the most. And for Elige, you know, he plays a lot of positions in a similar way to Magus. He's very, very high multi-kill potential. There we saw Magus from the bracket kind of alone in that situation. His teammate smoked off and he's able to get 2-3 kills. So it's almost a one-way street in the sense that Astralis are going to be offered up more opportunities to get those multi-frags, and Liquid always struggle to get more than 1 kill per player.
Even despite it seeming so easy versus other opponents.
Yeah, they just don't give them the openings.
It's fair to say Astralis have had Liquid's number for months now.
Yeah. It's very crowded in halls right now.
Yeah, they did a good job of spamming Dupree down to 61 as he paraded his way around here early. So he very quickly just tucked himself back into the A site. Xyp9x had eyes down B, but has fallen back into the site and called Glaive to come join him. Majority of Astralis' members still here at the A site. THEIVES has no trade potential here in this situation, so he's hoping he doesn't get popped by a pistol, and he almost gives them a chance. He thinks about smoking it off himself, but Team Liquid laid down the wall instead, and NAVI through it, taps away for a frag. Magisk off the high road, dives down onto them. A hailstorm of gunfire as Astralis find themselves on fire straight out the gates.
Yeah, a beautiful crossfire, clean eco. It was just THEIVES to go down with that spam from NAVI through the smoke, the corner of Arch. As you mentioned, they did lack trade potential from that spot. He was lucky to get away right away, but then he did enough damage to soften them up so that when they came through the crossfire, there was no stopping it. So difficult when there's somebody up on halls. There wasn't a single flash, even though they had some grenades to come through with a more clean execute. Whether it was a flash that was timed better for when they came up to the end of lane, or something to do with them coming out of halls, which they decided to neglect. We're into another rifle round. Astralis on fire. Banana on fire. As we'll see many, many times in this half. Both halves. Oh.
Foot
the boost is good. He actually gets up there all by himself, I think. Elige. really smoothly done.
Oh, but Elish then forced forward. Blink and you'll miss it. Astralis right back to the man advantage.
Yeah. Oh, that's banana one, you know, for the cost of one player. Device goes down. That's not quite enough. Dupree's going to throw a Molotov, rotate in. They've got 3 here to move. Even though they lack information on banana, they're confident that they established dominance there. Oh, but Twist gets an opening kill. That's big.
Matches trades with 2. One of the best pit players in the game. Making Liquid look lame, and Nitro cut off by smoke.
It's interesting you say that. You know, that used to be Twist, but lately it doesn't feel that way. Magisk, man, what a round.
Yeah.
And Twist plays the spots almost identically, like in terms of in-pit. But for some reason, he's having way more trouble recently. We saw in that interview, everybody should go watch it, that death segment where he came on and just talked about his role right now, and he feels like he's moved into a more supportive position.
Yeah.
That's not the Twist we know.
Called himself one of the best support players in the world.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know, it felt like a bit of self-deprecation there. Like that wasn't necessarily his truest thoughts about his role, but more so that he's getting pushed into those positions.
Yeah, the moment he labeled himself support, I saw him die a little inside.
Right.
No, that's not the Twist we've come to know and love.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a blink twice moment, right? And you know, that's definitely not the best use of Twist. And if he feels like that's the case, then maybe something is wrong. We have, when listening to Stewie on the DDK podcast, he cited a lot of problems that didn't have a lot to do with individual players' performance, but kind of the mentality surrounding players, dealing with conflicts within the team. And they are professionals. We can see they're still playing at a very high level, but it's a game of inches when you're playing against Astralis.
Yeah, the Danish roster that'll punish you for making mistakes. Nobody does it better. That's why they were able to get through their defeats and find themselves back on top. Something Liquid are trying to replicate themselves. You know, they haven't given up on this lineup. Record-breaking speed at winning their Intel Grand Slam once upon a time. But oh, how time has gone by.
Yeah, that's long in the past, you know. Yeah, it's like you said, that this matchup kind of gets more skewed by the series. And this is the final chance of the year before a lot of rearrangements will happen for Liquid to try to cause some mystery as to exactly where these two teams stand. Because right now, what's amazing is that as long as it's close, even if Astralis keep edging it out, it's such an exciting matchup because they have so many more maps played against each other than any other team. Ooh. Oh, Astralis and Great Grenades. Name a more iconic duo.
Now they're going to try to get themselves around the corners. Flash bangs blanketing this bomb site. Smoke grenades too. Excellent work with the pistols. They've managed to close that distance and at least maybe get this plant.
Oh, or more than that.
Who knows? Naf has gotten his hands on that M4. He tucks himself back behind Nubox. And the rest of his team, everybody's still standing. Even despite the amount of damage done by that grenade before they rounded corners. And even despite another successful follow-up piece of utility, the Incendiary's fantastic. That drops the rifle. Nafly's supposed to be the insurance policy, but now Liquid have to rely on their lesser weapons. Zipex, Dupree, and Magisk just kill everyone on site. And it's an easy defuse to follow suit. Astralis with a straight 7 rounds.
A perfect retake. They still have the advantage if they play it properly, and of course, Astralis do play it well. With Liquid, they get what they want in the bomb plant. They work hard just to make sure they can make that happen. And then once they get in the site with that 1 kill, there's a chance that they win, but they're low on grenades. Obviously, it's the eco round, so they were fortunate, and they need a little bit more luck to take it one step further and actually win the round. That was very unlikely.
A retake so perfect, in fact, they removed the biggest threat, the M4, with utility. They never even gave Nafly a chance to shine like he has been as of late. We talk about the fall off of some of these individuals. Well, he hasn't. But everybody for Team Liquid off to a stagnant start. 3 kills the most on Elish.
Yeah. The Battle of Banana has been fairly one-sided so far. Once again, another great grenade. Count up the damage, folks. It's well into the 300-400 range by round 7. And This is a game that they play where they understand what's most likely going to happen. They'll take some losses. Players will get hurt. Hopefully they get a trade. This case, no. 7-0 for Astralis. It is a rifle round. One of the first few. It's just been rounds in a row for Astralis, so we've seen kind of so many in quick succession because of all the ecos packed into them. So I wouldn't call it too early. Still, because of the economy, the way that that stands, there's always a chance for a team to come back. But
oh, that's big. Twists, destroys Dupree, and then follows with a little bit of tag onto Device. Not enough to really soften him up, but still just a warning shot over the bow. Twist, he's going to reposition here, Launders. He's going to try to get over towards balconies. The rest of his team will focus on short. Magisk, ready to succeed yet again. Oh my God, these grenades. Team Liquid can't even get to a bomb site with more than half their health. Zipbex, easy peasy, thanks to the assists. The kill feed nearly full. But there's a response. 8 seconds left as Naf's gonna try to plant that bomb, 4 HP, and he gets it down. Elige gives cover. They've done enough to force Glaive into the clutch. A swift breeze would push Naf over, leaving just Elige to finish this. He already has 2 kills to his name. He's the only reason that Team Liquid still find themselves in the post plant. Op in hand. Naf seen, dealt with swiftly. Elige does not decide to peek. Instead, he holds the cross, and now he's been spotted. Glaive closed that gap, and he's gonna have the smoke. Does he stick this defuse down to the 2-second mark? Elige starts to spray. A minute. Oh, it's gone. Impeccable.
oh my God, a beautiful 1v2. Naf a bit out in the open there in front of the box. They had no thought that maybe that rotate would have come from Arch. Instead, he was so focused on Halls, maybe a lead watching lane. But that 1v1, so masterfully played. The smoke goes down, he sees his opponent in pit, he's going for a Hail Mary defuse. He takes a step back. He actually gets near it, so in case Elige sees him, and then he takes a step back. But we're already into the next round. Nitro is taking out 2 at mid.
Yeah, 8-0 and Astralis maybe feeling themselves a bit too much. Decide to try charging down middle. Oh, but Elige haphazardly hopping through the apps. It's brought back to a 3 versus 3, turn 2. Nafly still able to make a bit more space, but Twists will plant bomb in the same position. Glaive so far gone.
It's crazy after that turn of events how close this round is even. The first 2 free entries for Nitro on this post plant. Retake is going to be extremely late, but it doesn't seem like they're even going to go for it. We've got to unpack what we just saw. There's so much that just happened. This round, less so in the sense that like those 2 kills from Nitro is like the key, and they obviously are going to go A after that. In that last round though, when they were trying to work up lane, and we're seeing a lot of A action as well. That's another interesting note. Most of the damage Astralis did was before Liquid even saw them. Oh, that's an exit kill they can't afford.
No, I mean, Naf dies to his lack of focus at the end of the round, but there's a world where that happens to the Apartments player prior to bomb being planted.
Yeah.
So let's rein it in a little here, Liquid. I mean, here's the thing too is, sure, Nitro, he gets 2 crisp headshots down middle, but that's a chance not taken by Astralis, but, excuse me, not taken by Liquid, but given by Astralis.
Yeah, exactly. They know they're like fortunate to have that, but it doesn't really matter for them. You know, they've already lost so many rounds, and they also know how to win rounds. So, like in this matchup on Inferno, they know how, they still have a game plan for the future. Like this match will be close no matter what. Unless Liquid fully choke. Basically, it would be a choke if it's anything less than 10 rounds for Liquid on this map. But this was the problem for them in this tournament a couple days ago versus Astralis. It was kind of all this action at A not going their way. Astralis doing so well on the holds. Magisk, you know, always being in peak form, and also versus Liquid being in peak form. But it's interesting that we see Liquid give him so much shine when they could opt to avoid him. Ooh. Every single round. And we see nades back. It's reciprocated, but there's no damage.
Yeah, not nearly as successful. Zipex only loses as much health as Elige has left over.
Here are a couple ticks there. 5-man walk up. Will it be a contact play? That's the question.
Smoke already in the hand of Zip. Ready to barricade them off. After the first shot, he's even going for the flash so that he can throw himself into the gunfight. That's where he dismantles Twists. Oh, and then so much damage through the smoke. I mean, what's left of Team Liquid holds on by a thread. Everybody dead other than NAV, who's just gonna desperately plant, and he can't even stick it. Astralis right back to the scoreboard. 9 of the first 10 rounds.
Yeah, the execute, you can see why it makes sense. Part of it is trying to run in while smokes and flashes are going over, hoping that no one is playing close to the smoke is part of it, hoping obviously Device is not taking an aggressive angle, but rather back in sight. That allows the flashes to be more effective, whereas if you throw the flashes beforehand, run in afterwards, everybody's unblind by the time you get to the site. Here you run the risk of taking damage early, but you may be rewarded with a very, very fast and clean entry and an early bomb plant before rotations come in, where you can jump up oranges, hold down the person in the speedway, and then end the round. But Astralis, again, they're doing so much early damage. They're getting favored in every single engagement from there on after, and that's what's causing the most amount of problems. Here's a round where they've got 5 alive with 500 HP, roughly. And they have established banana control, so that's nice. Astralis, they lay a bit of a trap. They've got 3 at the top of banana. No rotates in early just yet, but there's no signs that Liquid want to rocket back too quickly anyways.
Head boost on Logs. This would be a great way to get the opening pick. Clave is spotted, but he will happily take that duel. I mean, again, look at this damage.
Yeah.
9 health is all that keeps Elige and Stewie in this round. And even being blind, Device can shine. Shuts down Twists as he rounds the corner on A. They can't get a foothold for free no matter where they find themselves heading.
Nowhere is too easy. This is definitely getting worse by the round. Getting a low damage, great flash though. Device falls back. Nitro will toss a molly in the site. No teammates in Hall just yet to help him out, and they're gonna just lay claim here from the CT side to just get free shots. Debris doesn't have to watch his back. He's got a teammate working with him in the pit. They've got basically a cone fire now, but one player in sight goes down. That's Device, and Magis will light it up. But it's also Debris. They all stay alive.
I'd love to have the count on the amount of kills that happen as they come up short. Once they get to hay bales, it seems like every player who's died there is by way of assist. You know, Astralis doing damage substantially, everyone.
That's the other thing you pointed out, right? Like, it was like, because of all the early nade damage and then somebody else finishing off the kill, which every single kill came with an assist, and you got to think that's definitely the optimal way to play. On the CT side, if you get the dink off, if you trade dinks with an AK, you lose. So if you get them down to 90 or 80 HP before you take the duel, your M4 is now an AK, right? It's basically the same weapon. This is a really rough situation. It's a really rough situation for someone like Adren, because you have a spot where you're not even getting to the point of post plants, plus you already know how to play versus this team. So it feels like you're taking a step back. So it's no longer a strategic issue, it's like a mental issue. Pistols once again. Astralis in double digits within what feels like 5 minutes of the game starting.
Gonna try, just push themselves alt mid. Heavy numbers already outside of the apartments, but heavy numbers on a rotation from Astralis. They're going back to this A stack. I mean, you saw Glaive and Sonic laughing during the veto process. Oh, but no one's laughing now. Twists, quick headshot, will take down Device. That's an M4 in the hands of Elige. Zipex tucked into the corner, deals with at least another, and here's Debris. Oh, but Traden's efficient. A man advantage established by Liquid. Nav's patience pays off as he catches the op, and Team Liquid rob a second round.
All right, so they exploit Arch there. So if you have a 3-man setup on Banana, there's a window of timing early in the round where Arch is wide open because your first rotator is going to come. So Liquid decide to go through their Arch smoke. That's open. The rotation comes in. It's a little bit hasty. Device is not exactly prepared for it. The trades come out favorably. It's kind of crazy that they see 2 in library in that situation, so Astralis do almost catch them off guard, but they come out ahead. They get their second round, and again, it's just about the amount of rounds now. Getting 5 is still a failure. but getting 5 is their only way of having a chance in the second half. So eyes on the prize here for Liquid. And now we get to talk about what the strategy is once again here on the rifle rounds. The banana flambe to kick things off. This time, Astralis present themselves, pushing down. Glaive making presence. Don't know if they're smoking here. Looks like that one gets popped off. Liquid know what they're going up against. This burns time off the clock. 3 now congregate towards mid. Twist talked about staying in halls, having a full utility belt, and not taking openings, and feeling like he should. I wonder if he was talking to himself in that moment, and we'll see more of that action.
Ooh. NAV goes out with no trade potential. Everybody else was more wary of the arch side, understandably, because that's where Astralis have numbers. Lige leads this with Twist by his side, but if they don't hard clear this corner, they are doomed. Device decides to activate, and he almost skewers too, but the flank from Glaive is good. Although, it is still Liquid to come out on top with a man advantage, but they still have Zip to deal with.
Zip, sometimes at B, this is a brave call by them. You can see why Zip is so confident that they might come A, because he's been spotted top and end time again. So great call here from Liquid. They get the bomb down. You'd think they'd win. I mean, it is ZipX, but you'd think they are going to be able to win this. But he is there in time to get some information. Players crossing the site, where smokes are coming from.
Yeah, that trajectory is going to tell him there's somebody back left. And Twists with 1 HP makes the difference. A swift execution as he emerges through smoke. So a third round.
A third round. It still wasn't pretty, though. Like, I'm still not seeing sustainable ways of winning round. The last round they won, it was with pistols. And then that round there, they actually have, I think it's Stewie at ramp with the bomb at the bottom of stairs. He runs by Glaive. Glaive flanks for that reason, because he could have stayed there to wait for a flank if he didn't have to hold on to the bomb. So there might have been a bit of disorder when it came to figuring out what the protocols were for each teammate. He was in like a high danger situation, but they managed it regardless. Just great trades on the site. And it was a 3-arch setup for Astralis, so they pretty much got what they wanted and still lost. That's scary for Liquid to think about.
From a 10-1 lead to this 10-3. Should be an easy fourth. He'll take that kill despite the dink's done. A Lige with 1 HP as well. The lucky number. Device splattered on the back wall. And Team Liquid not looking to make mistakes as they find themselves barely adding rounds to the board here at the end of their T side, but they know that they needed 5 at the least. For them to have broken past 1 with some sort of mixed bag pistol buy, and then to have closed out that clutch in the previous, it's why they'll take their time. I'm not shocked.
Yeah, be careful.
Minimize mistakes and try to move forward into the second half. Get that clean slate, a tabula rasa.
At least here, as we round out the half and they finally started to find their footing, there is a situation where they've only got to do one more thing well. So they've got this clean eco down. They had that previous round where they maybe got a bit fortunate, but it's good to see that they turn up individually at the very least. The scoreline is fair. Astralis are playing so well right now. They're reading the situation so well right now. They're fragging at their peaks right now. Magis from pit. All these beautiful holds on B. The utility usage is absolutely on point. That's a statistic I want to look at when this game is done.
But a 4th round for Liquid regardless. 1 more to go on a T side that looked like it was going to fall completely flat. They've at least been able to bring it back to 4. 1 more to go. And it's a full-fledged buy on each side. Astralis, it's not even though they had some kind of godlike individuals to get those first 10 rounds. No, I think it was the setups, the nades, the team play. The things we've come to expect from Astralis is how they've gotten here.
Curious how Device will set this tone for this round, how it goes. Early car molly goes out. 2 players at the bottom B. Fast Halls control is on the docket for Liquid, it seems like. I don't think cancel plans. Move back towards mids. Bracket control is relatively passive. Oh, there's Device up in his treehouse. Ready to take an off shot. Flash comes his way. He'll fall back. See, for $200, they don't actually see the impact of that, but that's huge to take him out of that position. He moves back now into a more common spot. We'll see if he can crack open any opportunities.
Magis nearly has the bottle pop on his head, extinguishes the threat, and Twist tries to spam through. But Dupree reveals himself as well. That's going to be knowledge of at least 2 bodies here on short side.
Oh, interesting. This is Twist falling back. Naf gets a kill. Arch was the option. That smoke doesn't necessarily mean they'll split B, but they do have the bomb still at the bottom of Banana.
Yeah, Stewie, he's going to show a little bit of face and then race to pick up bomb, bring it over here with the rest of his team. It's Dupree to have swapped over to the off, and he already makes her sing. Nitro's ears ring as he's removed early before they even get past the lane. Dupree ready for another. He shuts down a Liege and a third. How about a fourth? Magis as Astralis send Liquid packing back from the A site. An 11-4 half on the map choice of Liquid is exactly where Astralis would love to be starting this series. You can see they make it look too easy. But before we get into that second half, before Liquid have a chance to bring it back, we will throw this one to a break. Good luck, Liquid. Dupree rocking Liquid in that last round of their T side, just the same way Astralis rocked Liquid all half long. It was gonna look like a complete and utter blowout, but 3 of the last 4 rounds going the way of Liquid, which gives them enough wiggle room to at least try in this second half.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to keep hope alive, obviously, and again, they can do this on both sides. They can have outstanding performances on both sides. They probably will find more rounds on the CG side, but they're still very far away from winning. I mean, Liquid, Astralis looks so clean right now on all fronts. There's so many layers to why they're playing well. It's all the stuff from 2018 coming back into effect here. The nades, the individual performance, the team play, it all looks so crispy right now. You got to be just riveted to be an Astralis fan at the moment. They look so strong.
Look at all these decoys. Look at all these nades.
That's not, it's kind of offensive to call Liquid that.
Oh, I mean, fair though. Some of those rounds just never even getting a chance to shoot back. So much utility damage. I mean, what else have we come to expect from Astralis? Danes, the masters of nades. The decoys pop. Meant more of a warning sign of things to come.
Stewie pulled from his spot. Astralis read that first pistol perfectly. Now Liquid, will they be able to do the same thing in turn? They're locked into positions that are long rotates, and they don't have info on brackets, so they're going to rely heavily on holds here. Rotations are going to be late. Actually don't very much like this setup from Liquid. Even though they're not stacked, it feels like they're hoping for A.
What would you prefer?
Might call the early rotation. Yeah, maybe a gamble read rotation here from Elige. He's the most free flex player, but they don't know if it's going to be B. They lack information. It's too late to go back to mid, especially from the spots they pick. So at this point, you commit, and you're gambled, but you're also not favored.
Smoke goes down as we hit that 30-second mark. Nobody from either team has seen a member of the opposite. We're at the 25-second mark now. More utility being thrown into the B site. Glaive's gonna try to sell this fake as bomb goes over towards A. Elige does start to bite on it, but him and Naf gonna try to wrap back through CT spawn. Glaive sneaks through the smoke of the B site, but it's over here on A. The bomb is dropped. Twist from inside the site with 2. Nitro peeking up over the grave as Magisk sent packing, and 2 seconds left. Glaive nowhere to be found. This pistol round is Liquid's.
Wow, and it was a great fake. The tables have turned. Astralis are having such a great job, are doing a great job of reading the setups. Liquid do the exact same thing moving into the second half, looking a lot more clairvoyant there. Now they do actually get pulled on the rotation. Elige makes his way halfway to B. Glaive doesn't push through the smoke, doesn't give that up too early, and then it comes down to Nitro and Twist. And Twist, he has been having fantastic pistol round performances. He did it the 1v3 clutch on Mirage, a couple of pistol rounds in a row versus NIP, and right here that 2K, you can't understate the significance. A really, really well done and clean-looking pistol round from Twist.
Yeah, not just a pistol round to start the game either. One at 11-4.
The amount of obstacles that need to be overcome, though, for Liquid to really come back into this half is almost insurmountable. They've got to meet them halfway when it comes to how much nade damage they're doing, how many rounds they win decisively, how much bank they build. Can they do that is the big question. You know, it definitely seems unlikely. Astralis, they've laid the foundation. We know they don't slow down in the second half. Liquid's work is cut out for them. Glock safe to chill, talk about things. Good few MP9s. That's a confidence move. You know, make as much money as possible. You know Astralis are saving. Don't worry about the thought of a potential eco. That's playing to lose.
Little long-range MP9 play could very well draw them into Stewie 2K, who's closer. But he's giving away some audio cues, and that takes a lot of damage. Good thing Elige cleans up Arch first, and they line up for Stewie. Milks the moneymaker. Magisk tries to tuck tail and just dodge.
Yeah, no losses quite yet. Oh, they're going to hear him, so yeah, it's not like he's going to be able to QB sneak a plant here.
Yeah, no, he's just going to throw himself into the meat grinder that is Nitro. More bullets than needed, but at this point, I don't blame him. Got to keep the morale high, the hopes higher. 11-6.
In trying to understand like what the difference is here, looking at the way they both approach Banana is obviously the place to start on Inferno. You're going to see pressure from Astralis here. THEIVES, interestingly enough, who some would say is the most valuable player on the team, is the guy who takes a lot of early damage sometimes at the bottom of Banana, but he also always comes up with kills, like very consistently. So that's at the same time why he's been playing there. Here he is, down to 73 HP. He knows in that spot, like, there are nades with his name on it. But he still kind of stubbornly pushes his way into these positions over and over again because he recognized the value of this information.
You said that Liquid had a lot to do in terms of matching Astralis' CT side. Well, I just counted 3 frag grenades that did 0 damage and a Molotov that was extinguished in their very own smoke.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Like, understanding the timings of when to throw the nades perfectly is something that Astralis just do better than everyone else. And there's some rounds that'll be anomalies where Liquid can keep up, but in general, can they keep up that same level of consistency? It's the final boss, really. So with these players at the bottom of Banana, they're running into a 2-man setup at B. The leash going to be pulled off right now. It's a little bit of a bonus here for Liquid, but at the same time, they can't afford to lose any. So it might not be fair to call it that. But they've been shied off of the site that has 2 MP9s.
Yeah, if anything, that's what Liquid want to do, kind of puff their chests over at that B site, send Astralis towards the harder hitting weapons. But even on A, it's another MP9 joined by a FAMAS. It's really a Liege, that M4, who's floating between. Ready to try and hold Arch. He will be challenged by 2. Gets into the mix as Glaive is shuffling grenades. So much damage, but neither kill. 14 health is what will keep Device and Glaive both standing. And now all of a sudden, this B site could be compromised.
Oh my God.
Naf and Stu have to turn attention back towards CT spawn. They need to deal with Device, but he's not going to give them anything. And all the while, Astralis get into the site, planting in the nick of time. A little spam through smoke will get 1 frag, and they do clear flank, but it's still a 3v3. And Dupree cuts off Nitro before he can near the site. Twists from downrange, dealing more substantial damage, but still, all 6 players stand. Bomb, a third of the way gone. Now they line up. Efficient trading yet again, but these T's have health advantage, and Magnus from the high ground hits the headshot, leaving it onto Nav.
Efficient reposition there from Dupree. And Snap will have a last chance, but he'll also get his face taken off. That Zipix from Quad. A cleanup from Astralis. It's the Arch wrap into the B site versus the MP9, so they find a way back to those targets.
It just creates so much uncertainty for Nafly and for Stewie, and those 2 are already burdened with holding B on the double MP9.
And they actually did a great job of not only taking out Device, who is ultra patient, but then getting 1 kill on the site as well, having the B flank come in, but then Dupree on that low HP point, he actually does a great reposition back into the site and then finds a kill at the top of Banana. But we're already right into the next round. Liquid made no upgrades. We've seen Astralis in some of these bonus rounds upgrade a gun or 2 because they understand, they give reverence to those rounds, especially in dire situations. Liquid didn't do that. But now, if you looked at that as like a free or bonus round, well, what about this? Twist has a Deagle. Everyone's slightly low on grenades. And they can't aggressively defend Banana, which is sometimes the capstone of your round on CT side. Nafly, so much damage. That one lands perfectly square on Coffins.
Offense, defense doesn't seem to matter. These frags, magnets. Oh, but a close smoke play from a Liege with a couple of bodies just on the other side. It's beginning to fade, and cover given by Zipex. Not only cover given by him, but the 2 targets that Liege wants to try and mow down are so safely tucked into the corner as that smoke goes away. He doesn't even have a chance to spray them down. So a man advantage for Astralis early. Nafly is going to get boosted. Stewie has the opportunity to move over to A if needed. And if not, it's the Deagle for Twists in pit. And Nitro inside of the site. You know what that opens entirely? Arch. You know who's going there? All of Astralis. They're splitting this A site, holding off on short, trying to get Dupree and Glaive in here first, seeing how much they can unearth. Twists missed Molly, and just like that, the whole round crumbles. 13-6 for Astralis.
That's beautiful. If you have Arch, you know, if you have Arch, you wrap A. You wrap A. Down a man, another great call. Glaive doing fantastic on that front so far. There's not much you can do about that. A Liege looks kind of foolish standing in that smoke, but that's actually a play that he's used versus Astralis that works out well. So I wonder if that player that was at the bottom of mid
Zipex
was there to chill for that smoke to go up, because sometimes Astralis are taking a bracket control just as the smoke goes up, which means a Liege dodges flashes that are meant for Boiler, a Liege gets a free kill or 2, and there he was totally negated, and he was made to look like a fool. But remember, in this matchup with so much history, there's going to be plays like that that are insanely hard reads.
I would say not only the way Zipex is watching that smoke, but also the way that the 2 forward T's are tucked into the corner.
Yeah.
It's like he couldn't, even once he starts taking a bit of damage, he couldn't just brazenly spray. He couldn't have even gotten a random kill in that instance. Nothing was given to him.
Listen, maybe using that time off to the maximum, like, because Astralis got to the final so fast, taking time to prepare and develop their Inferno, even without a full and proper break. It's very impressive, to say the least.
Adding in how happy they were in that veto process. I mean, for a second, it looked like we had given Astralis a map advantage. Oh, full flash, poor Stu.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I think when Liquid kind of were at their lowest point, it was really weak B holds that were the, I think, important point, or the worst part about it. where Stewie was in a low form, Naf was not. Sometimes Naf and Stewie would take turns dying and they'd give up the B site. Here, Astralis have won rounds, not really having to crack open B that often or just directly, and still look just as good.
Nitro, one of those two M4s. Yeah, poor old Elige. A spinal tap. How about the Zeus onto device? Not even. They'll find nothing other than that one kill onto Zipex. Naf just wants to run and hide this Krieg, try and grandfather it forward to the next round, but he's been spotted. Glaive knows exactly where he's at. And he takes his head straight off. 14-6 for Astralis. Again, on Liquid's map choice. We saw Team Liquid fail to hold back Astralis on Nuke. The defensive side of that map was so difficult. Poor Stewie. We saw Nafly blown to 50 HP from Coffins last round.
Yeah.
This time Stu takes the same place.
Yeah,
Lessons not learned.
I mean, the issue is that you can nade every spot on the site from the top of Banana. So you just have to figure out, do I want to stand? You have to stand somewhere, right? If you got to think of yourself as a CT, and ultimately you've got to take a gamble by standing anywhere. Am I going to stand in the same place? Are they going to nade the same place? No, they wouldn't nade the same place because who would stand there twice? Oh, will they nade oranges if I move there? Or is that going to be obvious? And so that's also scary from Astralis, right? Like that is the power of their minds on their team and their gameplay. 14-6. It is definitely dire straits for Liquid. Like no way to sugarcoat it. This is the most dominant Inferno I've seen between them in a long time.
Right. And we were wondering, you know, are we going to come into the Blast Global Finals and kind of see Team Liquid chip away at Astralis after finally, you know, losing so many series to them? But if anything, that gap has just continued to widen. Prior to this weekend, 6 of the 7 series had all gone 3 maps. We saw a 2-0 on the opening day.
Yeah.
And now we could very well be looking at another in even more demanding fashion. But it's not over yet. Full buy back for Liquid. Astralis still need 2 to close this opening. Naf behind Stewie. Both of them tucked by sandbags, and Device is the first to fall. A 5v4, something we haven't seen from Liquid all too often. But Astralis do not shy away. They remain proactive. Glaive pressuring towards Arch, where currently nobody holds.
Glaive taking a bit of a liberty here, wrapping Arch, looks for a kill, can't get that. And now he's going to be a bit more scared falling back as Dupree takes his position as the aggressor.
Yeah, with that Molotov on balcony and also the trajectory seen from the pit, they know there's one in there. That's 2 of the 3 players on this A site confirmed. Although Nitro's also in the mix, and they hold it. Team Liquid keeping 4 players alive in what is a crucial round.
Liquid are back, baby. Liquid era.
Your chickens haven't hatched just yet, Launders.
Yeah, they come away with finally like a good, just kind of standard round, a dominant round, a good crossfire that holds up through and through. Astralis work hard to get some Arch control, but there's a round where Liquid get the early 5v4. As you pointed out early on, we haven't seen one of those in a long time. That's something I even forgot about. It's like, how come they can't manufacture a 5v4? As a CT, you have the advantage in doing so very often. Oh, that's some good molly damage on a very important man. A high value target, missed a Magic Man.
That is one crispy Magisk. It's golden brown, but not charred. Frag grenade over top. Is that going to be enough? Nope.
Should also be pretty good at Battleship, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Ah, okay.
There we go. A little bit of something. A little something, something. But still pretty much nothing. Smoke well timed.
Yeah.
They decided to try and play off this or really pressure the B site. That smoke will hold them off for at least a few more seconds.
So lay of the land, we've got 2 players deep, dedicated insight to Liquid. That means they're in a dangerous position if it's a full execute on B. Bomb is still back in spawn as we cross the minute mark. So it looks like Magisk is going to collect that because they're going to take it to A this time around. Setup is okay for the passive setup on A. Double balk can be great. It just comes down to how Astralis abuse that. Arch is somewhat open. Depends where the smokes land. Nitro how is he going to react? But there's not actually anybody from Astralis that are in halls right now.
No, so Elige over there playing counter flash. A lot of this pressure falls onto Twist, and he only gets one. But they're going to call that the balcony player's dead, and they're having Ben 2 members up here, so Elige strikes with the element of surprise, cutting down 2 and dealing more damage. But we are still left in the even clutch. Dupree doubles back, catches Stu at the top of mid, can't hit his headshot, so he goes to retreat. A smoke underhanded close, and a flashbang that blinds him, so he does retreat and plays shoulder to shoulder with Magisk. But NAVI somewhat back behind Stu, just charges right in, and he is shut down on the forefront as NAVI takes his place. He's revealed, and Dupree with another headshot keeps Astralis in this. 15 rounds for them, 8 map points.
Damn, Dupree super clean. Those couple of shots so nicely done, man. He's even playing with his mouse pad sideways. This man can't be stopped. Smoke down at 2v2. That's a tough situation. Man, you like that Liquid are trying something new. The setup there, excuse me, on the balcony, where Twist finally gets to just kind of have the freedom to just peek if he wants to. He's there for bait. He goes for one, can't get the second one, but I feel like that's nice to try to give him a chance to activate himself while still kind of using him sacrificially in a sense. And Elige almost puts up 300 damage to bring them back into the round on top of the Twist kill, and they still can't do it.
We talk about the inability of Liquid to get those multi-kills versus Astralis like they do other teams. That was finally a round where Elige was piecing it together. At least 250 damage from him alone, and still it's not close. 2 members of Astralis.
They find him no matter what. And it's the nade tags that let him know that they know where they're standing. NAVI, can he do anything? He's going to reload, rebuild that CZ quickly, standing inside of the Molotov. Gets a nice spray off through the smoke, has to jump away to safety. Stewie takes his place, changes to the bomb spray, but he can't get more.
Still, all things considered, a CZ and a bomb is blocking that down. Elige tries to extend down mid, and now Astralis, they think they could sprint towards this A site. Twist is in position, and he smokes them off. But he too, with a build-a-gun, tucks himself into the corner of Balk. He's calling for help, but Astralis have gone silent on this side of the map. Magisk creeps his way up lane first. Still in the face of Twist is Zipex. He's denied. That's an AK procured. Bomb on Dupree has crossed over to the site, and he can safely put that down. A smoke blocks off the rotation, and Twist opts not to come into the fight just yet. A little hesitation that could very well pan out, but Magisk in pit in a post plant 2 skewers the first. Twist's head splattered on the sidewall. A flash that goes high, Magisk peeks, and there it is. Stewie keeps them going. Team Liquid take 8.
I really hate how you were casting that as if Astralis were going to win, because there is that thought. Even though Magisk has a sliver of HP, seeing him in pit in that post plant, you know he's going to come up with at least something ridiculous, and he does get the first kill. But you got to love how Twist plays that. Once his teammate dies and Elige gets the dink off and then goes down at mid, he throws the smoke, plays it carefully, gets up in halls inside of a spot where, without a teammate alive, as long as he wins the halls fight, he can stay alive and have continual impact. And then he does. Gets back to lane, gets involved in the post plant, and anywhere else, you think maybe he's in a bit more trouble, but it's good to see that he's playing confidently and very smart at the same time.
7 more to go. This one should be a breeze. A little curb purchase. You had a name for these half buys that you used yesterday with Moses.
Yeah, crooked buys.
Crooked buys.
No, that's when you get one rifle, someone's down to 0, and everyone else is on an eco, yeah. But this would be anything but a robbery for Astralis. Again, I'm sure they could see this happening, right?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh. Oh, poor Stewie. Here's that shot zing by, but you know what? They're just going to give chase. They're going to try to sprint in as quick as can be. Smoke delayed slightly, and because of that, Stewie's able to hold the line. 3 frags for him here versus these pistols. Zipex able to cross over to the backside of the site, but then Elige gets in, and the last man stranded. Device. Oh, he's trying a double deagle to set up a 1 versus 4 for the win. And he upgrades into the AK. They could line up for him. And luckily for Team Liquid, Nitro shuts this down.
Shades of Dupree with those couple of deagle shots from that position. 9-15, we're now into territory where it's buy save, buy save. Liquid are on their feet. Astralis are starting to wonder why this game isn't over and can start to draw up the thought that maybe Liquid can potentially bring this to OT. Still extremely unlikely, but here we are into another rifle round. Nitro's got the op and the spawn to go with it.
Thing is, we saw just earlier today, Team Liquid versus NIP constantly bringing maps back in the late portion of the second half. If they're gonna do it again, you think it shouldn't happen versus Astralis. You know, you might be able to defeat FAZE and NIP in that kind of way, but not the team that's been your kryptonite. They'll continue though, 6 to go.
So much progress made by Astralis already. Peeking top bracket at the cost of a single flash. Not using too much utility here. Nitro waiting for his opportunity. Staying on angles after getting flashed. You know, pretty important. His team's not holding on to a lot of map control outside of this, but the Molotov will eventually shoo him away. You know, I'd like to see almost some aggression from Elige if they can combine it with a boiler flash, but you know why they want their passive setup. They've definitely drilled that. They rely on it heavily. Rotations in from NAF. He's in a position where they can get smoked out. They are kind of going to bump into each other. Oh, he's there with an incendiary to help the fall back. Back comes out, he pulls a pin. NAF also secures a kill. Very good, because Nitro ends up dropping it. NAF with 2 on the cross. This is real guns they're going up against. Those weren't pistols. We've seen that happen on Ecos, but
how close that was to being a TK instead. NAF, he gives up his back. That's gonna give Glaive a chance to slap Nitro down, but Elige, he's also slipped into the enemy's back line. 4v2, and Astralis, they are split.
Yeah.
20 seconds, and they have to commit to this B site. Device cannot get over. But he just pops Stewie's noggin. NAF could be next. He's gonna go ahead and use that fountain for cover. NAF like, oh! He doesn't kill him fast enough to deny the plant, so now Glaive's left in the 1v3. Elige should be his first target.
I think he takes a fast step there.
Oh, he's smoked off, and Nafly's doubling back. Glaive doesn't realize he's about to get skewered. Double digits at the very least for Team Liquid.
Actually pretty unfortunate for Liquid that they let the plant go down in the first place in that situation. Astralis very low, could use the extra cash. Would do a lot of weird things for that extra cash, I'm sure. 10 to 15, we're now both teams are in double digits. Can start slow versus Astralis, but when all is said and done, from what we're seeing most recently, it's looking very much up for Liquid. Great round here from NAF, and again, as Maniac pointed out, highest performing player on Liquid versus Astralis specifically. Not the highest performing player on the team on average, but when it comes to their hardest matchup and their most important matchup right now, NAF is that dude.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't realize who he's playing against.
You can see it in his eyes, he has no idea where he is. He doesn't understand the magnitude of the situation, and that's probably what's helping him out. A vocal Zonic here as we take attack timeout to think about what to do. Glaive slips into Arch. That's something that's very common on their T side. We know that he likes to take library control and then cause confusion as to where it's safe to rotate from. And Liquid are so scared of that. We've seen in previous rounds where Glaive's not even there, and they take their time clearing CT spawn with like a minute 40 left on the clock just because they're so worried of the thought that he could have gotten there without them seeing. Tiny gaps in the defense he takes advantage of all the time. Astralis, round 26. They are on a half bye, but it's still any small mistake and Liquid are out of this match.
You can't get through a game of Counter-Strike with Astralis in the server without getting ready for them to win a round like this, with lesser weapons like this. Can Device slice through the top of Banana? Stewie, he will be that first line of defense. Nafly by his side. Ooh, good first headshot. Catching him on the hop. And tons of damage versus Device. Magus will try his hand. That's the bomb carrier spotted and dealt with. Flashbangs each way. Three slips out for Boiler, but the entire job is done towards the top of B site. Bomb even gifted further forward. Not a bit of a response yet from Astralis. Liquid just tearing through them on these half buys.
Yeah.
Which is what they're gonna have to do if they realistically want a chance at forcing this into OT.
It's partly confidence too, right? You have a clean eco like this, you feel a lot better. You're like, okay, minimizing mistakes, that's a key goal. Here's something that we're doing. Great hold on Banana. NAVI doing a fantastic job at just, you know, racking up the numbers. Just keep feeding him, give him confidence.
Listen, Mohan, that's 4 rounds in a row and 4 more to go. They are halfway to pushing this into OT.
I mean, if you want to go even farther into the numbers, there's ego sprinkled in, whether it's 1 or 2. So potentially 1 of 2 remaining full buys for Astralis, combined with maybe 1 broken buy if it does get to that round 30 mark, which seems more and more realistic in adjustment. Stewie opping along with Nitro. This is something he does.
Wow.
You know, it can be comfortable. Has been struggling on B in this match. Getting the raw end of the deal when it comes to grenades. Even from the T side from Astralis, they're getting bullied in their own house.
In their opening match in Bahrain, I mean, that was the big question mark, was the B site. Stewie and NAV had a hard time holding.
Astralis sit and wait. Flash to clear things out. They fall into that very passive setup again. Low rotations will be late. Emphasis on Stewie and NAV.
Big time, that secondary op. A transition in the defense shown in the 27th round.
They're really hoping for a rotate back. Nitro has full info on mid. They just don't know about Halls right now.
Elige is starting to piece himself forward. If he can get some information here, I'm sure Nitro sprints to the B site. Whether or not he gets there in time is the biggest question.
He's also an op on the retake.
Yep. Stewie's op has been shown, but will it shine? He has to reposition, burned out of the back, and the moment he arrives in his new spot, well, there's a Molotov there too, the praise of grenades. Oh, and the damage done, only 1 kill from Team Liquid. Oh! Great grenade. Dupree's gonna go ahead and plant on oranges. And a man advantage for Team Liquid on a retake, a crucial one at that.
Whoa.
Their utility near non-existent. A single flashbang for Elige. An op on device, home towards spawn, but he misses his shot, and that's crucial. It's gonna give Twist a chance to maybe tag him down to 19 health. He'll go. Elige up close, and Dupree will see nothing. We have 3 counter-terrorists basically on cross. Elige, the front runner, denied. Device, he's pinned in. Dupree's got it all to do, and it is just now Device